feel like we're having more excitement, like bouncing around to that music at the start than planning how this episode's going to go. Hello, this is In 15 Minutes or Less, and I'm James Mabbott, and with me is the lovely panel of Amy, and Parrot Stu. Say hello, everybody.
Woo. Hello.
I said say hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
Cool.
That right?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, thank you, Amy White. That was great. So this is our second episode of the podcast, and this week we are on to the letter B. If you've not seen this before, highly likely you haven't. Every episode we go through a letter of the alphabet and we pick a subject and we randomly talk about it for 15 minutes or less. And this week it's the letter B, and we're talking about bands. So I'm going to start the clock if everyone's happy with that, and then we'll see how it goes. Okay. Should have had the clock ready. I'm wasting time already. Just talk amongst yourselves. Thanks anyway. Right, clock started. 15 minutes starting from now. Okay, so I suppose an easy way to start would be, do any of you have a favourite band?
Not at the moment. I like...
No, I was just going to say, but have you ever had a favourite band?
Yes. No.
I used to love Spice Girls when I was younger.
Okay, then this puts a different spin on it.
Okay, were you thinking rock bands?
Yeah, that's what I thought
Could
immediately.
be girl group or boy group. Right, that changes everything. Because I definitely think, when I think the word bands, I think like rock group or
For guys.
like, I don't really know. Like, do I? Yeah, no.
It's interesting though, because when you do put in the most popular bands of all time into Google, it's the Beatles, a load of men, the Rolling Stones, a load of men, Led Zeppelin, a load of men, Queen, a load of men, and so on, and so on, and so on.
That's what I noticed, and I was kind of like, no, I don't have a favourite band.
Yeah, actually going through this list, there isn't a female member of any of these bands until you get down to Fleetwood Mac, which is number
Interesting.
19 on this list.
Wow.
Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah, that shows that female artists are better as solo, maybe.
Maybe. Well, okay, so Spice Girls.
I mean, I would have to say the Spice Girls as well. That I'm not just copying Amy White over here, but I
A little bit of copying.
loved the Spice Girls. when I
Not
was growing
only
up.
they both name Amy's, but they have the same band.
Well, you know, we know who Amy 1 is here, so not you.
Did you ever go to school or parties dressed as the Spice Girl?
Yes.
No.
See,
really?
I am the ultimate fan here. I had the DVDs.
But how old were you when they first came out, Amy? Let's just cover this. How old were you?
When did they first come out? That is
Early 90s? 1996, I would say.
Were you even born?
probably not.
There we go.
Very interesting.
Yeah, but I am the ultimate fan.
It sounds like with all the tapping on the keyboard that Amy's working really hard. I can assure you she isn't.
No, I'm Googling when did the first Spice Girls song. Formed in 1994, the year that I was born.
There you go.
So,
I was in school uniform, dancing around, getting dressed up.
no, you know what that
There
makes
we
me
go.
a fan since birth.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course you can. Go for it.
How do you feel about the song That's the Way Love Goes by Janet Jackson?
In what sense?
Like, do you like it?
I have it on a playlist. I do quite like Janet Jackson from the past.
So I was reading about this article, or I was watching a video, sorry, and this guy was explaining whatever music you like when you're 14 or 13, that's the type of music you would like for the rest of your life. And now I thought that sort of song, like Janet Jackson, Mariah Carey.
Yeah,
They were
do you know what is funny? I've always grown up in a house full of dance music. My mum and dad have always been into like dance music through the ages. So dance music has always been at the heart of what I've liked, and then everything stemmed from it. So samples have been taken from classical pieces, so then I like a lot of classical music or score music from films because of those pieces that started. And also there's a lot of soul and a lot of house as well, so then I quite like a lot of soul music. So what you're saying has some depth to it for sure. I do think your music comes from...
Because when you're 14 or 13, you go through puberty, and that's when your brain observe all the information, and
mean,
they store it as like important.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
Like that's when I started getting into like punk rock bands, and that largely shaped a huge part of my music taste. I mean, I had like when I was at university, I was part of the student radio station, and that required me to expand my appreciation of music generally, which I did, which was great. But yeah, I mean, I still listen to loads of the same stuff. And
also because the music affect your part of brain that cocaine does. So you will enjoy music for the rest of your life, but it never be the first time you experience it.
Yeah. I mean, this is getting very sciencey. I feel like Paris Du is starting to become our resident scientist.
I need
the
a
one with
glasses.
the official laptop here.
I
Fact
should
checking.
come with a lab coat.
And a clipboard.
You could.
Yeah.
I was thinking actually then, if we were in a band, because let's face it, we could definitely do that.
Yeah.
What instruments would
I'm
you?
definitely a front woman,
Yeah,
I would say.
yeah.
I'm definitely a singer and a clapper.
Ah, okay. So you like percussion?
Good with something, you know, that has a banging,
Clapping.
like kind of
Sound.
clapping sort of.
So you
thing,
don't.
yeah.
You're not like a tambourine.
No, that's a bit past. Maybe a drum kit would be good for me.
Yeah,
Yes, I would be a good drummer.
you would. But like, rather than sat behind a kit, you probably want to be stood up and like
Yeah,
right up there so you can sing some vocals.
absolutely.
Okay, interesting. Amy,
I
Blakes.
think I'd want to be a singer. I've got no coordination with anything else. I'd just ruin the band.
So we've got a singer drummer, a singer, and a front woman that is singing, or just like I'm at the front.
It's
My
not a good
fingers
band
are
so
too
far.
small for playing guitar. I tried before. It's just.
What
it's
about a
not
violin?
Violin.
Mm.
What kind of band are we?
Well,
starting?
you can get
It's a
strings
classical band.
Yeah.
in a band.
Yeah, sure, yes.
I mean, or
I
you
take
could,
violin for the team.
you could just play keyboard and then change the instrument. Like,
What about the triangle? That's always good.
it's a very technically requiring instrument. And let's face it, if you've been to school in England at any point in your life when you're young, you normally get to play a triangle, some kind of keyboard, and
Recorder.
a recorder.
Actually, James, just to interrupt you, speaking of triangles, did anyone see that triangle hanging from Alicia Dixon's ear on Britain's Got Talent this weekend? OMG is all I'm going to say.
What?
We have to Google it after
Have a
this.
look. Just Google what Alicia Dixon wore. It was like a big giant triangle hanging from one ear.
I mean, I feel like this is a significant moment. I mean, if you're listening to this and you saw it and you want to share your thoughts on Alicia Dixon's triangle hanging from her ear,
It is literally like a musical instrument
I
hanging
don't
from
even
one
know
ear.
what to Google.
then you can just post your thoughts in the comments below.
Yes, I see what you mean. So we have. This is the triangle.
Okay.
It's just the one triangle as well.
We'll get that put up on the screen.
Wow.
Tammy, who's doing all the vision mixing of this, by the way, Tammy, put that photo on my face. My face. Just shove it on my face now. There you go. So now you're seeing the photo. Tell us what you think. I mean, I guess you could use other instruments as well.
What, to hang from your ear?
Yeah. Like
What would be a good one then?
Piano.
A mini piano?
no.
Instruments to hang from your ear.
Don't Google that.
No, I'm saying, is that generally where
What
we've
about-
taken this to?
What about little hand tambourines? You know, little teeny ones. Ching
No.
ching.
No. I want to come up with a name for our band, although I haven't assigned myself a role.
Oh yes.
Well, there's 3
I'm-
singers at the moment.
Yes,
So,
so I guess maybe I'll just be the band manager.
yeah.
Like I just manage the
I
band.
think you will be very good
So
at
we've
it.
got drums, a violin, and 3 singers. This is and a manager. This is
Yeah.
going to be the most interesting band I've ever
Yeah.
come across.
Look, I can get you all sorts of gigs. I can get you hotel, bars, probably
Weatherspoons?
probably a Weatherspoons. Probably. I mean, I'm talking dizzy heights here. I mean, might have to start small. Have to play like a local Costa or something. They might not know we're coming, but like we can just start there and we just work our way up to the top. I mean, I'm talking millions of rejections, but like we will get there.
It sounds really exciting. Just let us know where we sign.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people might be like, well, you know, if you're as good at podcasting as you are in a band, then this is all going to go really well.
I can't wait to break up the band and go solo.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I like that little joke. See, actually, I was as the manager. I definitely approve of that. In fact, I thought of that idea.
Oh, okay.
That's how I'm justifying my pay.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, not really.
So what name would we use?
Oh,
for
that's a
our
good
band?
idea. What would our band name be?
You don't want to take any inspiration from our previous episode of animals.
That's what I was just thinking.
The bear, cat, dolphin, squids. No, it wasn't a squid. Octopus. No, what was it?
Sass.
Jellyfish.
Jellyfish.
The jellyfishers.
The jellyfishes. No, that's not working for me.
Parastu and the Amy's.
Yeah, well, you wanted to be Amy 3 though, so
Oh yeah, the Amy's then.
yeah.
The Amy's.
APA.
The A team.
I mean, that seems a bit self-absorbed. I think you should really step down. Well, I'll tell you what, this is too much brain power for me right now. So if you have any suggestions of what would be a great band name for us, please share them and we will read them out in future. It's a good way of doing
What
it.
was your favorite band?
My favourite band,
Yeah.
I think that evolved over time. Like, it was
Don't
quite-
get embarrassed.
No. The first album I think I was ever bought wasn't Spice Girls, surprisingly, which a lot of people have said around this podcast. I think probably my mum, bought me the album for Aqua. Do you remember that terrible
I
band?
remember Barbie
Yes.
Girl.
Yeah, and I
Amazing.
That's
Yeah.
even worse than Spice Girls.
yeah, I
It
know.
is.
That's right.
I love that your mum bought it for you. Though.
Yeah. I mean, I think secretly she may have wanted it for herself, but like,
How old were you?
I don't know how old I was when that came out. I would have been 10 or less than 10, I think. Yeah, quite embarrassing, really. But yeah, it was quite interesting what you said earlier, Paris, too, about like how when you're sort of like 13, 14, then your music tastes kind of shape everything.
This explains a lot, James.
What?
With your music tastes, some of the music you put on
We're gonna start analysing.
is questionable, and now I know why. And what Paris too said, as you said, makes sense.
For the audience, James really like Girls Aloud.
Well, that's a whole different. I mean, that's nothing to do with being 13. I mean,
I
I was.
feel like you've been stitched up a little bit.
I was
here.
gonna. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
I think James said once that he liked Girls Aloud.
Well,
right?
once is more than enough, I think.
I just really liked the song Love Machine, okay? It had a catchy hook, and let's face it, everyone likes that song.
There's been others, James.
Anyway, I really like the sound effects on this desk. No, my favourite band probably when I was about 13, 14 was Blink-182, or Blink-182, dependent on your preference of wording. But I think if you were to ask me now, I'd probably say my favourite band is Death Cab for Cutie. But it's all really quite depressing. It's like quite emo-y.
But don't you find sometimes we like to indulge in a little bit of dark, depressing music?
Yeah.
Just to sort of suit the mood at the time.
I think also part of like whatever bands you like or whatever type of music you like, there's a small part of you that would like to be able to do it, which is another reason why I asked if we should form a band. So, yeah.
When does practice start?
Well, we've got about 2 minutes left of this episode, so if you want...
I need 10 years to learn the violin because I don't know anything.
I think we should scrap that plan and just remake the Spice Girls.
What spice would you be?
I always wanted.
I can't hear you, Amy. You got to speak into your microphone.
I always wanted to be Baby Spice.
That's not a type of spice, though, is it?
Is it?
Yeah, I was
not?
thinking more like nutmeg or
Yeah.
cinnamon.
Okay. Well, I'll be mixed herbs. Yeah.
That's not a spice.
That's a little bit of everything.
That's a herb.
And that's what a
That's a
manager
herb.
needs to be.
It's a mixed
It's not a spice.
Herbs and spices. How about we just call ourselves herbs and spices?
This is no.
Why not?
That's KFC's bag.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Have you seen that?
No.
If you don't know, you need to know. So it's basically KFC only follows 6 of the Spice Girls and 5 herbs.
5 guys called Herb, yeah.
5 guys called
Oh,
Herb.
right. That's funny.
Yeah, so
That's
there.
really good. I like that.
It's so good. And that is their secret recipe, which is 11 herbs and spices.
Brilliant.
Okay,
That's
well,
amazing.
we're getting to the end of the episode now. So, in summary, what are your thoughts on bands? What have your thoughts been on this episode talking about bands?
Well, I've clearly now realised that Spice Girls are a band.
Yeah, I mean, or / pop group.
I still think band could be defined though, because defined because there's so many things, like, you know, even though there's a head singer, there's still a band behind them singing. So are they classed as a band or as an artist?
Interesting. We've taken this whole episode about bands just purely on the musical route. We could have talked about elastic bands,
Hair bands?
Band-Aid, hair bands.
Right now.
Yeah, God, just think of the potential. Just think what it could have been.
So much.
So much. I think we should wrap it up there, unless anyone's got anything else they want to add.
No.
Okay, well, that was the next episode of 15 Minutes or Less. You lived it. We did. We all survived. Thanks very much for listening, and we'll be back next week with the letter C. Thank you very much for listening and watching. We'll see you later. Goodbye.
Bye.